All right, Steven, I think they're ready for us. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of We Got Next. This is an episode I've been really excited for ever since I started talking to the team. We have some of the team members from Jump DeFi here with us. We have Brandon and David. So welcome, Brandon and David. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us, guys. Excited to be here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And so for everyone that is not familiar with the We Got Next podcast, what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between the finance world and then the sports world. You all have probably heard of what's been happening with FTX. You hear a lot of things with BlockFi and then Voyager, what they're doing or not doing over there. But then also you have different people like Cade Cunningham, and then you have Tom Brady, then you have Trevor Lawrence, various different athletes that have gotten into the cryptocurrency world. Of course, you see like Odell Beckham and then Von Miller that focus on the NFT world. So we're going to continue to do the bridging of the gap with that. And what better team or even blockchain projects to have than have someone from the near protocol side, especially with Jump DeFi, with the decentralized finance aspect that a lot of people hear the word but don't necessarily even know what it is. And then the NFT aspect of it too, all in one. So a lot of people know about what's happening on Solana, you know what's happening on Ethereum. But the one that people have started to say is the dark horse and the one to pay attention to, especially come this next bull run, is the different projects and teams that are going to be on the near protocol. We've heard what happened on Terra Luna, and then certain aspects of what Near is doing, they say are going to be better than what happened on Terra Luna. So I am really excited for that. And just to get us started, can you guys just tell us a little bit about what is Jump DeFi for anyone that has never even heard of any project on Near?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jump DeFi is a decentralized finance platform that is intended to be sort of a one-stop platform that consists of an ecosystem of protocols that help out users and developers. So what you might expect from a decentralized exchange would be like your typical automated market maker, which is where you would go to do your token swaps, liquidity pools, and yield farming. But we offer kind of the entire suite of products that a user would want to use when they come to a DeFi platform. And then also we have developer tooling solutions as well. So just to start with just a really broad overview, we have the Jump Dex, which is of course the decentralized exchange and automated market maker. We have the Jump Pad, which is an IDO platform, or a platform where project teams can go to do public sales and also private sales, so token raises. We have the Jump NFT staking platform, which is where NFT projects are going to be able to list their collections and earn Jump rewards. We also have a partnership that they'll earn tokens from the partner as well. So we'll be able to offer triple token rewards for our NFT staking platform. We are very serious about the integration of NFTs within DeFi. So the Jump NFT staking platform really kind of helps us make that work, and we can dive into the integrations we're doing with that. We also have this is my favorite, the Jump Token Laboratory, and this is our developer tooling solutions where project teams, entrepreneurs will be able to go right to Jump DeFi, to the token laboratory, and within a matter of minutes and just a few clicks of your mouse, you'll be able to have your own fungible token with a fixed supply, and you'll be able to go live on your protocol as a token would. So that's really a summary of what Jump DeFi is. It includes all of the the DeFi protocols that a user would really want to access on any new blockchain, and then going above and beyond and actually then providing developer tooling solutions that just don't exist on your protocol yet.
No, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Now, of course, some of the people listening to this are probably like, what the hell is DeFi? Right. So in the simplest way possible, can you explain to everyone what decentralized finance really means?
Yeah, so decentralized finance, really enables anyone to access the same basic financial products that, really up until now have been restricted to the wealthiest people that can afford, private bankers that are doing, a lot of these various activities. So for instance, you want to take out a loan, I can take out a loan, but I can't really give a loan out. With decentralized finance, you can be the bank and you can prosper from all of the things that really are just one-sided in the world we live in now. And so it allows anyone to participate in both sides, the lending, the borrowing, and it's, I think probably the best innovation that crypto's had. And it, in my mind, it's really what, will what's the most important thing that crypto can bring is making it so everyone can benefit from these things and really take their finances into their own hands. And I think that's so important.
No, so we've had people on the show, and Stephen can also attest to this. You probably gave the best explanation of what decentralized finance is. Most times people kind of talk to people, even people in crypto, think they know what DeFi is, but you broke it down in a way that anybody would fully understand it. And I do really appreciate that, because decentralized finance, of course, people have heard of Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban really loves DeFi and focusing on different things in DeFi. So thank you for that. The next part that I did bring up was you're on Near Protocol. So for everyone out there that's probably asking, why of all blockchains did you choose Near Protocol? Can you explain what went into the decision of you guys going with Near Protocol?
Yeah. So for myself, I've kind of became a student of DeFi, of crypto, in early 2021. And I had been investing prior to that, but it was really just the baseline stuff of buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum. But I really started to dive into the ecosystems and participate in the protocols, which at first were mostly just the baseline decentralized finance protocols, yield farming, and became very interesting to me. And so I was able to be an early mover in the Polygon growth, and then the growth of the Solana ecosystem, which was mainly the NFT space. I was able to be a part of that. So I've been able to see ecosystem life cycles starting from the very beginning stages and growing into a large adoption scenario. And I see the same baseline infrastructure as far as an ecosystem goes right now with Near that I did on Solana in early March of 2021. And I also know a lot of the same first movers that I was looking up to in the space for guidance and insights that were also early movers with Solana, started to make a kind of a change over to Near, and that was towards the beginning of 2022, or sort of the end of December of 2021. So seeing that that same early stage ecosystem, well, before I was able to be a part of that as a community member and an investor, but I was not equipped to be a developer in the space. I didn't have the knowledge to really make that happen. And so when we saw Near Protocol, we sort of saw a blank slate that is ready to make that next step and to be able to build some of the key critical infrastructure that is needed for any layer one blockchain eco to prosper. That's an insane market opportunity. And really, if you dive into more of the technical components, Near Protocol does have, in my opinion, the best scalability sort of principles. And ultimately, what Ethereum 2.0 is trying to transition to, or evolve to, or upgrade to, whatever you want to call it, that's what Near is right now. And it's a very good technology, and it's kind of, in my opinion, it's the best. And so now it's just, okay, let's develop and wait for everything to come, build the products that are required for people to come. And that's what we're trying to do right now.
All right, yeah. Christian, I'm gonna jump in. Yeah. I don't want to cut anybody off, but so I was a journalism major in college. So like podcast interviewing, just interviewing in general is something I've always been doing. Christian can attest to this. Like, I just love to just talk to people. How many interviews or how many podcasts or whatever have you done? Just since you've been doing this, because your answers are like boom, like, like as soon as Christian starts asking the questions, you know exactly what you're going to say, how you're going to phrase it. And like, you cover everything that he asks. And then another layer of like, just like, here's your answer. And then you web off into other things. Like, I'm just,
and it's not scripted. That's what we love.
Yeah. I'm just commenting on how fluid your answer is and how there's like no drop off. You're just like, boom, here's my answer. I'm just gonna keep flying with it. So props to you for that one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Brandon and I really have not done a podcast before. So this is our first podcast, which is really, really cool. We do Twitter spaces on a very regular basis for our communities. And then, you know, when you're having one-on-ones with your investors and stuff, you need to be able to, you know, in my mind, be able to really talk about the stuff that you're building, or, you know, there's probably you know, something going on there. So
yeah, and then when you talk to schmucks like me and Christian, it's kind of a lot easier to get that point across.
Well, good. I'm glad that, you know, we're able to make things work, and you guys have been, you know, fantastic interviewers so far too. So that helps a lot.
So what you brought up is talking to your investors and your community, and I really have to shout out the community as a whole, because in a second I'm going to jump into some of the investor and community questions that they asked. It was a good amount of questions as well, so I'm going to go through those, but I really have to shout out to them because they did show out and ask in-depth questions. Before we dive into those questions, I do want to end up just clarifying, are you guys going to have native tokens, or are you guys focused more so on the NFT aspect as to the ownership component for you all?
Yeah, so Jump DeFi, I'd say that being a DeFi platform, and you need a token to reward your users, because for someone to provide their liquidity or stake their NFTs, that's, you know, there's cost there and risk. So people need to be rewarded for that risk or for the impermanent loss attached to liquidity pools. So you need to have a token, and a token works very well when you have a protocol that's generating real revenues. So there is a token, that's the Jump token. And as far as NFTs go, we actually use NFT technology on a strictly utility basis for the Jump DeFi platform. It's not used in a manner of fundraising or to create a community collection, so much as these are real purpose-driven NFTs that do something for you within the Jump DeFi ecosystem. And just to kind of go over what that is, for the NFT side, we have the AirJump NFT airdrop. And so instead of just airdropping a bunch of tokens to users, we're using NFT technology to airdrop an NFT, which can be staked in the Jump NFT staking platform to earn the airdrop allocation over time. And what that does is it allows those tokens to be vested to the users. So there's not an immediate just smash of liquidity entering the market that can cause, you know, a crash or a dump, right? After airdrop events, you usually see a lot of selling. So by airdropping NFTs that vest tokens, traders can sell their airdrop, they can sell their NFT on the secondary market very easily, but that does nothing to the Jump token price. And the people that are long-term investors that believe in the protocol will be able to buy up those airdrop NFTs, stake them in the Jump NFT staking platform, and maximize the amount of tokens that they earn. So using NFTs creates this, you know, highly kind of this liquid tradable asset that doesn't, you know, damage the underlying token value for, you know, instead of just, you know, bringing all those tokens on the market at once. So we're really excited about the idea of using NFTs in an airdrop scenario or just any scenario where tokens are vested. It just creates it's a really good tool for that. And we're sort of flexing that with the AirJump NFTs. And then also we have Fast Pass NFTs, which we're really excited about. And I guess for those, your Jump token rewards that you claim from either yield farming or NFT staking, they're locked at first and distributed over a 30-day time frame. And that is to, again, kind of eliminate those really harmful inflationary impacts that kind of come with providing high emissions, because you have to provide those rewards to the platform users, but you need to provide them in a manner that's sustainable. And so vesting those tokens over a 30-day time frame accomplishes that. And we have the FastPass NFTs, which can be minted to increase the rate at which your jump tokens are vested to you. And so instead of a 30-day time frame for your locked jump rewards to turn into jump, it goes to 15 days. And you can mint a FastPass NFT and it's simply 5% of the locked jump amount. So if I have 100 jump tokens as a reward that are locked, I can pay 5 jump tokens to mint a FastPass and increase the rate at which those tokens are distributed to me by 2x. And all of the jump that is used to mint the FastPass NFTs goes right back to the community via the XJump staking pool. So it's kind of like if you're at Disneyland and you want to buy a FastPass to jump in front of people in line. Well, in a traditional scenario, Disney is just pocketing all of the revenues from the FastPasses, right? But for the Jump FastPass NFTs, everyone in line gets $1. That's standing in line gets $1 because the FastPass revenues just goes right into the XJump pool.
Yeah.
But that sort of showcases how we're using NFTs as a utility, and I think that's something that is very important, and it is really going to kind of help DeFi evolve.
Oh, if I could jump in really quick, I was just going to say that one of the core tenets of Jump DeFi is exploring these new innovative utilities and mechanisms, and also providing them to other projects and other users. We actually have the Jump Token Laboratory, and we're going to have a lot of the utilities that David just mentioned. They're going to be template contracts that other projects are going to be able to use and off our platform and create their own token and their own utilities, just like the ones he described. And then it'll kind of introduce DeFi to a whole new generation of projects on Near.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I was going to wait to the end to end up asking this, but it's one of the more important questions that I always like to bring up, especially to projects and teams that are doxed. Why did you choose to dox yourself? Why did you choose to kind of end up letting people know more about you than others? Of course, everyone knows about Satoshi Nakamoto. People know, some people go by random different names like Sushi Swaps. Nobody knew who that person was. But then Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, everyone knows them. Why did you guys choose the route of doxing compared to others? And has it helped you all, or do you think it's hurt you guys?
Yeah, so can you kind of give some insights on this, because it's a really tough position to be in on our side, right? So we have always been all about transparency, honesty, and kind of what's the best practice, what is the right decision from a moral goods perspective, and I think we always react on that. So we want to be doxed. We want to give people the reassurance that we're here to do good things, and I think being doxed can really help people feel comfortable with that. However, just kind of in what we're doing from a regulatory standpoint, there isn't a lot of clarity, and there is true risk attached with being doxed. So what we've done to really try to mitigate those risks and the potential harm to us is we've spent a lot of time and effort and funds to create the right regulatory or legal framework for the Jump DeFi platform that sort of allows us to operate on a more doxed format, and that includes British Virgin Islands corporations. It includes Panama foundations, which sort of like the top line for any sort of decentralized exchange to like the legal framework that you would want to go by. And we've done that, and it's taken months, and it's cost a lot of money. But by doing that, we're able to kind of operate in a more doxed setting. But there is still a lot of things that we need to be careful of too.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And the next aspect that I want to end up touching back on is more so the NFT side again, with the invisible swaps that you guys have and using like any of the NEP 141 tokens. So can you just go in depth and explain that? Because it was something that was exciting to me and unique, that more so than other projects.
Yeah, invisible swaps are probably something that I'm most excited about, right behind the token laboratory. So really the invisible swaps stem from the Jump DEX, because it leverages the Jump DEX backend to do a token swap without the user kind of realizing or performing any steps of the swap. So what does this enable? Well, an example that we have is for an NFT marketplace. A user will be able to buy an NFT using Nico token or Jump token, and the Jump DEX will then power the swap from Jump token or whatever into Near, so that the seller of the NFT is paid in Near. And this all the seller sees this is that they sold their NFT and they've received Near. And all the NFT buyer sees is that they bought an NFT with some random token. So long as liquidity exists on the Jump DEX, they'll be able to use that token to purchase the NFT, which is really awesome when you see that NFTs are really kind of beginning to use NFT staking and adding a native token to kind of their offerings. And that means that I'll be able to stake my NFT, earn whatever token, and then use that token to buy more NFTs. It's really cool. It also unlocks some really awesome utilities on an individual project basis. So I have a couple examples. Partnerships already lined up that really display this very well. And I'll note one example. I hope I'm allowed to say this, but it's with
It's dropping alpha, Stephen.
Yeah. So the Cafe Cartel is a partner of ours, and what they want to do is to actually, they have their own coffee brand, and they want their users to be able to purchase the coffee using the cafe token. Well, there are hard costs associated with the merchandise, the coffee, and you can't just give a distributor cafe tokens. Unfortunately, they probably wouldn't accept that. So what a solution would be that the user, the cafe token holder, goes to the Cafe Cartel website and they purchase their coffee using cafe tokens. Well, then the Jump DEX backend swaps the cafe tokens into USDC and deposits them into a wallet that could either go back to the Cafe Cartel team to pay the distributor, or if you set up the business to business infrastructure up and you get a cool enough coffee distributor, you can actually have those stable coins, the USDC, sent directly to the distributor's wallet. And all the user sees is that they just bought coffee using cafe token, but really the amount of tokens required to fund the merchandise, to fund the coffee, it's being swapped into stable coins so that transaction can be funded.
Just don't turn your back on the cartel. Just don't turn your back on the cartel. It's not good. Don't do that. I don't care what cartel it is. Don't turn your back on them. Not good.
So what's exciting about that is Cafe Cartel is one of the more popular ones. Of course, there are a lot of them in the near NFT space, but Cafe Cartel, they just came out with their second collection, which a lot of people are definitely hyped for. Near protocol NFTs have less of a supply for everyone out there, less of a supply than more so like your Ethereum-based ones and your Solana ones, and they sold out their collection as well. So it's really exciting to see what Jump DeFi is doing, especially with Cafe Cartel. What we're going to do now is segue into some of the audience questions that they end up asking. And the first one that I have for you is, does Jump DeFi have any guaranteed development plans during the bear market? If you can say certain things.
Yeah, I mean, we have our development funded. So we've been developing the Jump DeFi platform for months now. And our phase one development is nearly completed. we are kind of in the auditing stage right now. And phase 1 dev includes the NFT staking platform, the Jump token laboratory, and the Jump pad, the IDO platform. So we will go to market with those 3 products in about a month's time. And then the phase 2 development, that's quite a lot more actually, is the decentralized exchange and AMM, all of the yield farms, liquidity pools attached to that. So the phase 2 development will be completed, I would say, by October. And but all of the development costs are funded at this point. So we have been building, and we will continue to develop because we have locked in the funding for that. Of course, we're still we are still actively fundraising as well, but all of our core dev is accomplished at this time as far as funding for it goes.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So the next one that we have that someone has asked, they said, how do you plan on staying ahead of your competitors, especially in this space where a lot of different projects will focus on DeFi?
Yeah, I'd say that some of the main advantages that we have is our one-stop platform. So in kind of right now in the current DeFi landscape on Near, you need to go to 3 separate platforms to access a yield farm, an IDO, an initial DEX offering, and NFT staking. You need to go 3 different places, whereas now you'll just be able to go to one, which makes onboarding for new users a lot easier. But what this also does is it helps drive a lot more sustainability, because we have a diverse kind of collection of revenues coming from a bunch of different products that can help support the token and support it. Whereas a one-stop, an IDO platform that only offers IDOs, well, in a bear market scenario, when not a lot of projects are having token sales, that's really bad for them. And so by having a diverse kind of collection of revenues, that can help us be sustainable where a lot of other one-trick pony platforms will fail.
Yeah, I'm just going to add, Jump DeFi is able to generate revenue from 6 different products, which then also some of the fees go to support the platform and reward Jump token holders.
Yeah, and you need a stable and ultimately a token that people see value in, that doesn't just trend to zero in order to have a successful platform, because people aren't going to care about rewards if the token's worthless. So making sure that you put a lot of focus on sustainability to allow the token and the ecosystem to grow, which is what we're doing. There's also the aspect of visibility, where since we have a decentralized exchange and a token launchpad and a bunch of other products, someone may come to Jump DeFi for the decentralized exchange, and they will see the latest IDO and decide to then participate in the IDO when they wouldn't have before, because they wouldn't have seen it if it was on some other platform. So by having that visibility, it will help project teams know that they'll want to come to our platform to benefit from all of the other users that are accessing our other products.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that a lot. So the next question I have is, many investors have just focused on the price of a token in the short term instead of understanding the real value of the project. Can you tell us the motivations and benefits for investors to hold your token for the long term? And this is from Phoenix Prodigy.
Yeah, I would say that this bear market is going to kind of help reinforce a lot of positive habits into investors. So investors are going to be a lot pickier when they are deciding where to deploy their capital, especially now, and that trend will remain until things start to get really heated up again. So that's great for us, because Jump is a token that is built on a foundation of sustainability, and kind of leveraging all of the products that we have, all of the revenues associated go back to reward holders. So let's say that why would someone want to own Jump token, is because they know that the emissions for all of the token rewards are being distributed in a sustainable manner over time. So they have the confidence to know that there's people aren't just going to kind of send the token into a downward trend by just amassing all of these rewards. They're distributed in a common sense manner. And then just the 6 different products that we offer on the platform will go into the XJump pool, and ultimately they're rewarded back to anyone that's staking jump in the XJump pool. By staking their jump in the XJump pool, you're also able to participate in the governance of the platform and of the jump treasury. And also it determines your IDO allocation tiers. So the amount of jump that you have staked will determine the amount of tokens that you can purchase in IDOs. So those are I'd say the core reasons and utilities that users will benefit from by holding jump token. And at the end of the day, it's all about revenues. So if you're generating a lot of revenues, then you're going to be making your token holders happy. If you're not, it's not a good situation. And that's just how it should be too.
Yeah. So before I even say anything about that, how many people are on your team? Because the amount of undertaking you guys are doing, it's a lot. So how many people currently are a part of the team? Because I know someone's out there wondering, how are they going to do all this?
Yeah, we have a pretty big team. So we're partnered with Hackachain as our development partner. Zhao is our CTO, and he's also the co-founder of Hackachain. And with them, there are eight developers, most of which are full stack developers, very, very talented, but a couple are just focused on front end, middleware, et cetera. So we have a pretty stacked development team, but we also have a our longtime lead developer as an ambassador that helps kind of oversee, and helps us manage them from a technical standpoint. We also have Christina, who is pretty well known in the near space, and she acts as our head of PR and hiring. So I think we're at, about 12 people. And we have our own designer too, with Morgan. So yeah, we have a pretty good team, and about 8 of which are developers for us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So that's something that I always end up thinking about, especially with an undertaking. And then you also seem to have the right amount of people. Of course, we've seen with Coinbase, BlockFi, all these other companies, they hired too many people during like the bull market, then they had to lay off people. Whereas you have a good amount of people for all that you're going to be able to do. And this leads into the next question. It's a fan question, well, an investor question, but it's something I was thinking as well. They asked, when the market fluctuates greatly, some DeFi organizations will be decoupled, and then they will be exploited for arbitrage. Does JumpFi have any security measures to avoid this situation? I know a lot of people have seen what have been happening with Voyager, 3AC, what's even happened kind of with like BlockFi and different companies of that nature. How do you plan to end up mitigating a lot of this?
Yeah, I guess before I roll into that, I think it's important to note that we entered the near ecosystem very tactfully, starting with the Classy Kangaroo NFT collection, which is a very small collection of only 550 NFTs. It's helped us create an early evangelist community of supporters, but there's also a development work attached to that NFT project. And from there, we also have the Good Fortune Felines and the Nico community, which in itself has a lot of development requirements, a lot of smart contract work. So we've had months and months to build a team by completing smaller scale development activities on Near. So we were able to find developers that suck, and we were able to fire them, and at the end of the day create a finely tuned team that can accomplish what we're doing at a high level, and that was not easy. If you're entering the space and you're a founder, you have to be prepared to kind of find the right people, and that is so important. But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time, and that's why we structured some easier development activities in the beginning of the year, so that we knew we could build a team that in confidence could complete the Jump DeFi platform. So I think that's a very kind of important thing that we did, and I think that it's working out very well at this point. And moving into the question regarding arbitrage, I think that arbitrage isn't a bad thing. It's an important thing, and it's kind of required to make sure that asset prices are what the market says they should be. It sort of fixes mispricing. Kind of arbitrage in a traditional sense for crypto would be on Coinbase, Bitcoin's trading at 20,000, and on FTX it's trading at 19,900. Well, I can buy Bitcoin on FTX and sell it on Coinbase and pocket $100 per Bitcoin. And the same scenario applies into decentralized finance, where if assets are mispriced with what the prices are on other decentralized exchanges, there's going to be some level of reward involved with kind of fixing that mispricing. So really, it's a matter of how do you mitigate the mispricing, and liquidity is the answer there. You need kind of deep liquidity in order to avoid the bigger arbitrage opportunities and mispricing. And that we're building strong relationships with funds and with proximity and with project teams to ensure that we do have depth in our liquidity pools. So from an arbitrage sense, I'd say that it's really just a matter of ensuring that you have the right amount of liquidity to kind of alleviate kind of glaring mispricing issues. Near also has yield aggregator protocols that are in development right now. Trying to think, it's called the Arbitrage aggregator, I believe, that are going live on Near shortly. They might already be on mainnet. And what a yield aggregator does is it really kind of helps with the different arbitrage opportunities that exist on multiple exchanges, because it gives users best pricing. So if there is mispricing opportunity, that yield aggregator will sort of fix it and mesh the pricing from multiple decentralized exchanges, automated market makers, into sort of more of a singular unit. Shift you on
something. No, so I really appreciate that. And Stephen, he doesn't miss when it comes to the answers that he honestly gives, like every single time. I was going to go to the next question, but I have to touch on something, kind of how I found you guys. So a lot of people have heard of Big Brain Holding. I know of them, of course, because of Solana Big Brain himself, and then what he does for the Solana side, but they started to dive into the Near side. How has that helped you guys, having someone like Big Brain Holding, the group itself, along the way, and helping you guys support in any which way possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tremendous help. And I would say there are many venture capital funds that are a bit predatory in their practices, but Big Brain VC is truly probably one of the best forces that we have in Web3 as a whole, on all of the different layer ones in an early angel investor / seed pre-seed setting. This team is driven to see these ecosystems grow, because their investments go much deeper than just what an individual project is performing, but ultimately the entire layer one of itself. And so they operate in such good faith that really do, even at cost to themselves, make our ecosystem, the Solana ecosystem, a better place. And so we as an entire community should be very thankful to have a team like that, because it's not common, it's very rare. We've had the privilege to work really closely with Near Big Brain since he really entered the space, and we entered the Near space in the beginning of 2022. And we've had a close relationship with them. They've been able to see the success that we've had with our NFT collections in the communities that we've been building on Near leading up to Jump DeFi, and they were excited to help fund us in the early stages for Jump DeFi as well.
Yeah, thank you. And I asked that question because the way your answers have been, I can only imagine how you guys are when you talk in front of different VCs or different people that want to end up giving funds or different support. And you guys have just done an amazing job with that. So I just had to end up segueing that in, just because I know how much Big Brain Holdings tries to end up doing and look for good companies. I've seen on the Solana side, I've seen what they've done on the Near side. And then also, side note for everyone out there, they have also been in El Cafe Cartel. So that's kind of when I knew you were going to say something like that, because they typically like to go with different people that end up partnering in different ways of that sort. Diving back into some of the questions that the investors have asked, and Arala Made, I hopefully end up asking this question correctly, but they said organizations and community support are the main thing for an undertaking to develop. So for Jump DeFi, would you be able to let everyone know how you'll be able to intend to keep your local support that you still have alive as you continue to grow?
Yeah, so I think that's definitely a uniquely worded question, but I think we are coming into Jump DeFi with a major advantage, which is that we've spent this entire year growing real communities on Near and showing, you know, the Near community what we can bring to the table. And also with that, one of the main components to that is rewarding our earliest supporters. So when we went live with the Good Fortune Felines NFT collection, all of the Classy Kangaroo holders received a free Good Fortune Feline NFT, which they minted for 5 Near, and I think at all-time high reached a floor price of around 20 Near, and now they're sitting at 13 Near floor price. So that was a great, you know, a utility advantage to holding a Classy Kangaroo. And the same goes with Jump DeFi. Well, now the Classy Kangaroos are receiving 0.5% of the Jump token supply that they can access by staking their Classy Kangaroo NFTs in the Jump NFT staking platform. So, you know, with any startup, you need to have early evangel supporters that can take your product, can give you insights on its quality, and be there as a support system to help you grow. And we've spent a lot of time and effort to really, you know, kind of create and facilitate this early evangelist community that will help us in the early stages of Jump DeFi. And I think just making sure to reward your early supporters whenever you can is really the best way to kind of grow that community and make sure that they stay along for the ride.
If I can add something really quick, I think another one of our important values, like we touched on earlier, is transparency. And we like to, you know, have spaces like this where we can engage our community, engage the public. You know, getting on this podcast and explaining about our projects, explaining why we're doing what we're doing, and just kind of engaging with them is very important. And
yeah, no, great answer. I appreciate that, Stephen. So the question I'm about to ask will be an alley for you to end up asking your question next. The question that someone has asked was, how does Jump DeFi plan on rallying people into the Near ecosystem, as most people are not into Near right now? And then the other part that they asked was, why did Jump DeFi choose Near? But we answered that part. So you can just answer the first part.
Yeah, let me know when the alley-oop's coming in, but I will respond. I'll take the ball for now.
I'm gonna wait till you guys are done, and then I'm gonna take my time, and I'm gonna swoop in. I'm gonna hammer it home. Don't worry.
All right. Shoot, what was the question? I forgot.
Yeah, no. So it was basically, how does Jump DeFi plan on rallying people into the Near ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, I'd say that the main thing that we want to do is lower the barrier of entry to decentralized finance on Near. So right now it is challenging and expensive for new Web3 projects to flourish on Near protocol unless they have a talented software engineer on their team. So by having the Jump Token Laboratory, entrepreneurs will be able to come to Near and deploy a token with value add intelligent tokenomics, you know, in a matter of a few clicks. Whereas before they would need developer support, which is going to cost thousands of dollars. And if you want to do it right, you're going to need a code audit too, which is another, couple $1,000s. And so we're lowering the cost of entry to decentralized finance on Near, which, if you give entrepreneurs a place that has zero friction for deploying and starting their project, that's something that we believe can be very valuable. From the user side of things, right now, the base, I'd say the most, kind of basic and important component of DeFi would be your token swaps. That's what is used most. And right now on Near, it's actually a lot more complicated than any other layer one blockchain. And that's because, let's say you're on Ref Finance, you have to turn your Near into wrapped Near before you can use it at all. And that is a big step to the onboarding process that even I found challenging at first as a pretty seasoned DeFi user. And anecdotally, I've heard many other people, our developers and acquaintances, that are trying to use Ref for the first time to do a token swap into stable coins or whatever, and they got really hung up on this wrapped Near. And so the Jump Dex actually completely eliminates wrapped Near from the user experience, and so they will not have to do that step when they come to swap on the Jump Dex, which you lose 20% of users at every step of the onboarding process. And when you sit back and look at how many steps there are to go from your bank account to having funds on chain, especially on Near, it's quite a few goddamn steps. And so if you can remove a big step like that, that's really important. And I think that's really how we plan to bring in users and developers, is to make it a hell of a lot easier than it was before to use DeFi Near.
Hey, Steven.
All right, here we go. All right, so like we said before we came on and went live, I'm not the biggest crypto person. I'm super new to it, but just these conversations, for the common folk like me, first of all, I appreciate how, like I told you, I appreciate how you have answered the questions, but I appreciate like how you've in some of your answers kind of like dumbed it down for folks like me who might not understand terminology and just like concepts and things of that nature. So that's also appreciated. I'm sure we have a ton of people who will also appreciate that, who are going to listen to this. So for folks like me who are new to the crypto world, exploring it, learning, and doing all that kind of good stuff at the basic fundamental level. And it seems like, and this is the question that I always ask everybody, and we've gotten a different answer from every single person. So I'll let you both answer this one, and I'm hoping that you both have different answers, which I think you will. So there seems to be like a big, like over the last 3 years or so, 2 or 3 years, there seems to be another like a giant wave of crypto. And it seems like for folks like me, remember the common folk who haven't been in crypto for that long, it seems like for us, like that was the starting point of crypto, but it's not. Obviously, it's been around for a while. So what, in your guys' opinions, what do you think the main reason, or like the top 2 or 3 reasons are that crypto is so big now, as opposed to what it was like maybe, like I mentioned, like the 2 or 3 year window that we've had, but like even like 4 or 5 years ago, like it wasn't like, for people like me, it wasn't what it is now.
Right.
It wasn't like you weren't having these conversations with your buddies at the bar, like, or you weren't, it just wasn't happening. Now for you guys, it might have been, but is it because of social media? Is it because of like just the media in general, like more people talking about it on all the different news outlets? Is it just like a simple thing, shits and giggles conversations, you start talking about crypto and like it goes into that, and like word of mouth? Because that's how I got it from Christian, was word of mouth. Mm-hmm. Like if he didn't like mention it to me, I mean, I'm sure obviously I would know what it is, just you can't ignore it. But like, what is like, is there a main factor into it, or is there like a layer of factors for you guys that has gotten us to this point of like, it's all over the place?
Yeah, it's, I think if you compare the adoption of crypto to most large booms, you're going to see kind of a similar trajectory, and really the where crypto is like kind of the internet bubble of the late 90s. It's very similar with the technology and the capabilities of the technology, in which we're just, you know, kind of starting to understand can be very serious. And I think that the last cycle was really when that began to become understood from the smart contract perspective. That's when, you know, Ethereum came to be, and we saw the rise of IDOs in the last cycle, or ICOs, initial coin offerings, where all of these projects were created based on an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. And so, you know, we were like, okay, this can we see all these possibilities, but at that time they were just possibilities, and not very well thought out possibilities. And we had to go through a boom and bust cycle of, well, that a lot of stupid stuff that was hype driven kind of came down to earth, and what's left is now you're a bit further in this evolution, and sort of every cycle, the technology becomes more refined, people become more interested in, and it grows, and the capabilities grow. And what you're seeing now is the most intelligent people that would typically go into investment banking or working at a FANG company on the tech side. They're instead deciding to go into Web3 development, and it's when you have the most brilliant minds, you know, that exist, kind of also with the technology that's in its infancy, you're going to see these just incredible feats, and we are just kind of starting to create the baseline infrastructure for a lot of this stuff to begin to flourish. And so we've gone through, you know, these many bull bear cycles, these boom and busts, you know, kind of in the 4-year cycle scenario, and each time we've become, you know, exponentially more advanced. But really, we are still at the very, very beginning of that evolution, and it's invaded with NFTs. It's invaded popular culture, and I'd say that was one of the big kind of things that we got out of the last cycle was NFTs, and how that caught the public's attention. And I think that it's just going to continue to kind of cycle through, where these things, you know, do have real world impact, and as time goes on, things become more refined, and more people will continue to flock to crypto because there's stuff that's actually worth flocking to.
So great answer, Brandon. I want to say something else before you jump in that might trigger something else for you to say. You mentioned the internet bubble, and I think we're not far removed from that. I mean, I'm 30, so like I feel like in like that time frame we've come up in like the right time, where like when I was in college, when Christian was in college, like social media wasn't, you know, I'm not sure how old you guys are, but like, so when we were in college, like social media wasn't like, I mean, obviously it wasn't anywhere close to what it was. If it was, I'd be screwed. But like, you know, it's just like, we're so like, it's so new to everybody. And I think Bitcoin, like if you point to like the common folk, Bitcoin is like all they know. It's what they know. It's what they hear all the time. It's like, you know, I'm sure there's people who still think Bitcoin is like a real legit coin that you're going to get in the mail one day. But like what, like, is there a reason that you guys, now this might be like a separate question that we can talk about at a different time, but is there a reason that you guys got like this far into it, that you like saw something that like went off in your brain, you're like, oh shit, like, yes, we can do this? And then Brandon, you can expand on that if you want to, but you mentioned like it's getting into like deeper cultures. Like me being a big guy in sports, like that's my forte. Like athletes in sports and athletes in the crypto world, like they're colliding. That's the point of like this podcast, is what we try and do. Now obviously we have separate like individual sports conversations without crypto, but like it's hard to ignore it, because like you got one of the biggest names in the entire sports world, like the entire world, LeBron James, is in crypto. Odell Beckham Jr. is in crypto. Saquon Barkley is in crypto. So you're getting a lot of these athletes who, I don't know, who the hell knows if they know exactly what they're talking about. They I'm sure they've done the research on it, but I'm sure they're a lot like me where like they might not know a whole hell of a lot, but like, do you think that's another part of it where people like me are starting to flock to it more because they see, oh, not just LeBron James, because I mean, people follow his every move, but it's like, oh, I see, Saquon Barkley doing it, me being a Penn State guy, I'm like, oh, let me kind of maybe tag along a little bit and jump on the coattails and see what's going on. Brandon, you can kind of expand on literally anything I said there. I know that's a lot, but is there like, one thing that got you guys into it individually, or is it like, something else that you guys saw with it? And then Brandon, like on the first thought, like what is your main thought that might be why we're at this point of the crypto world? I know that was a lot, but that was all the journalism major and me coming out at one time.
I'll try and answer something in there.
Yeah, answer everything I just said, or else this podcast is complete fail.
I would just say that it's obvious that the technology here and the potential with NFT and decentralized finance technology, it's evident for everyone to see. Like David said, with NFTs and a lot of the smaller projects, people just saw a way for quick money. It's something that was in its infancy, but it's evolving. Like you said, more people are realizing what you can do with it. The integrations with sports, the integrations with finance that we're talking about, and how you see NFT projects nowadays evolving into more. They're trying to offer more utility, more things for their communities. There's definitely something to be said for this decentralized distributed ledger technology that allows small groups or communities spread all over the world to create something together and to be involved in it together. So I think it's just like that limitless potential that got us involved, and that like we really enjoy about it, and seeing what we can do and what we can create with it. And a lot of Jump DeFi is trying to empower these other projects on Near to create their own thing and maybe create that new that new project or that new thing that is going to become what crypto is actually about. It starts small, and then maybe that's what we'll see cemented. Someone else will be able to create something that we use crypto for. It's just evolving, and it's really cool to be a part of the process and see everything.
I think you said like a new project that comes along, and I think a lot of times when the people we have on, much like yourselves, that we interview, it always seems like there's something that's like just around the corner that like maybe you guys are trying to tap into, or like the next person we talk to is trying to tap into. And I think you said like the limitless potential on what there is and what you guys can do and what you saw in it. Yeah, that's definitely very exciting. And I think that's why folks like me like are, I don't put my money in anything anymore, mainly because I have 2 kids I got to put into college. So like I've got to do that. But like I think there's a lot of that, what you just said, and like the potential of it is why a lot of folks like myself are always keeping an eye on things. Asking Christian about this and that sometimes. Like I see what he retweets, and I see all that kind of stuff. So I'm always like fascinated by this type of stuff. Things like I don't know about. And I'm always like, again, you guys have given great answers. So this is gonna go over very well with people. So well done. I appreciate that. Hopefully we get some good views on this one. But I think that it's always interesting to see, and you guys are 2 totally different people. Like, and so, it's always interesting to see where you guys started and like how you guys have gotten to this point and like what's ultimately driven you guys to get to this point and, looking to become the next, I don't want to say the next big thing, because there's a lot of next big things out there, but you guys get what I mean by that. But so I appreciate the well thought out, authentic answers, if you will.
The next thing I want to, so thank you for the alley-oop and closing it, Stephen. I didn't know where you were about to go for a second with that.
no, dude, no one ever does. Trust me, no one ever does.
But what I wanted to do before I end up diving deeper into other conversations, was there anything else you wanted to make sure that the audience ends up hearing in terms of Jump DeFi and what you guys are doing going forward?
I would just say that we are on the brink of some really exciting opportunities as we launch the Jump DeFi platform. Early supporters will be rewarded greatly, and we're excited to make DeFi and crypto more accessible to people and to developers. Mass adoption for crypto as a whole isn't really going to happen until people can use these applications without really knowing that they are using these applications. The internet bubble where we're at now, you don't have to be a software engineer to understand how to use Facebook or Instagram. Anyone can use that. They don't have to know about how the technology works, and that's how crypto should be in a lot of ways too. We're not there yet. You do have to be a pretty knowledgeable to understand how this stuff works, and that's great. And the people that are spending the time to kind of build this knowledge are going to benefit greatly. But to get to a point where mass adoption actually happens, we need to be able to have user experiences that are so easy that people can do it without really thinking about it. And we're making some big steps towards that with the Jump DeFi platform, and I'm excited to see what happens because of it.
Yeah. I would just like to add, like Steven said, you're getting interest in it now and you're learning as much as you can. But what a lot of people who have been in the space for a little bit, there's so much knowledge that they have. And another important thing for us at Jump DeFi is trying to teach people these basic DeFi concepts. And we're going to try and provide documentation and videos and tutorials demonstrated on our platform to get the average person using crypto and using DeFi in ways that they haven't before, making it easier for them. And we think that that's a very important process of onboarding people and making crypto and decentralized finance more common.
Yes, people like me, thank you for that.
And we have an entire project dedicated to that with the Good Fortune Felines and Nico. It is based around creating YouTube and TikTok content that brings Near protocol and educational content about Near, DeFi, and NFTs to users on the platforms that they use the most. And so we're really excited to team up with Jump DeFi and Nico to really make Jump DeFi the subject that's used for a lot of that educational content.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I love how humble you all are, especially with your approach and your answers as well. Where can people stay connected with you if they want to continue to learn more about Jump DeFi or continue to end up just doing their own research? Because we always end up telling people to DYOR, do your own research. Where can people continue to do that if they want to learn more?
Yeah, for getting in touch with us, the Jump DeFi Discord and Telegram will be live within a week. So when
Discord, they were asking.
Yeah, so we're very close with that. Just a few days before we do open it up to the public. So that will be a great place to stay in constant, in touch with us. But you can also check out the Jump DeFi Twitter at Jump DeFi for any updates. You could follow me on Twitter at DLear_DeFi. Brandon has Twitter as well. His name's a little bit longer. I don't know it off the top of my head, but those would be the main ways to stay in touch with us. And of course, I'd say mainly would be, inside Discord once the Jump DeFi Discord goes live. And there was a part too. Resources for learning yourself. For me, I learned the best by doing. So getting involved with the various blockchain ecosystems is probably the best way to actually learn and find where the real value lives. But Coin Bureau on YouTube is a fantastic resource for new people to go to for unbiased, intelligent content. So I would say going to Coin Bureau on YouTube is a great place. Also, Taki Media on YouTube is a really great resource for decentralized finance content. So if you go check out those two guys out, you'll be in a really good spot for learning the basics.
And another thing is we also host weekly spaces, usually sometimes an update on our projects. But tomorrow, actually, we are having I think 3 other projects from Near on our show to just talk about the Near ecosystem in general. And we like to do this weekly and just have different topics going over everything from DeFi to entrepreneurship to starting your own business. We just like to talk about things like that. And it's a good way to inform people about what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I appreciate that. That's something that everyone needs to do, especially because Near and Jump DeFi, they're both new, continuing to learn more and do research. That was one of the questions one of the investors asked, when Discord, because that was the big thing, people trying to dive deeper in to find it. So we're going to segue into the question that I mentioned to Brandon and David in the beginning, and Steven knows how I am. throughout my days, I'll just think of different things. Would you rather, would you prefer? I've been doing a lot of travel, whether it was like NFT NYC, being in Miami and different things. Yes, sir. And the big question now is, would you rather help build a tunnel or help build a bridge?
Ooh, a bridge for sure. I was actually a construction engineer before I went full time into crypto. So a bridge for sure. That'd be a really fun project to do.
Okay, Brandon.
Yeah, I think I would also say building a bridge, but I'm trying to wonder, what do you think would be harder, building a bridge?
Building a tunnel would be harder.
Yeah, because you have to worry about.
Yeah, it'd be harder. It'd be dark. It would be a pain in the ass. It'd be dangerous, more dangerous too. So yeah.
No,
I mean,
I'm passing on both. I'm not doing either one of those things. I'm gonna be the guy in the trailer supervising everybody.
Oh yeah,
else.
that was me. Yeah, that's what I meant by building.
That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be that guy, or like the one like maybe taking pictures for like Instagram or something like that. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Screw that.
I don't want to dig the tunnel.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I was at the beach last week and I was digging a sandcastle for my daughter and digging a hole. That sounds terrible. I'm not doing that. I'm not spending like hours upon the day digging a hole for a tunnel. Like, not doing that. But if I had to give you an actual answer, man, that's tough. Probably go with the bridge. I think
better views.
Yeah, but yeah, and I don't want like, I mean, if I fall in the water, like our question we asked a couple weeks ago to each other, like a whale, like a shark might be there, like who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But like if the tunnel collapses somehow, I mean, good luck with that. You're done.
Yeah.
But I'm staying far away from both.
So I was honestly thinking in the same realm. I thought about that because I was on the Brooklyn Bridge and you're able to like see the different tunnels and you're like, damn, of course we all know tunnels are underwater, but when you legit see it from the bridge, you're like, damn, what the hell is this tunnel that's connecting everything together?
How did they put that there?
How did they put that there? Exactly. How is that really happening? Yeah. And then you think about a bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge is high, but if anyone's ever been to Maryland, to Delaware, that bridge is high as hell. Like just getting across that, and you just think you legit have to help build it. But what I would probably say is a bridge as well. But I like to ask these different questions just to dive deeper into the minds of the different guests we have on the show. Of course, all the time we get questions of, how do you do this? Why do you do this? And things of that nature. But we like to get them out of their shell as well and ask those questions. So Brandon and David, I want to say thank you for that. And then on top of this, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the Jump DeFi community. And thank you to the team at Jump DeFi for coming on here today. So we appreciate this a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been a blast. And hopefully we can check back in once everything goes live.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys.
Yeah, so Steven,
thanks,
we're
guys.
going to put that on the calendar because we're definitely going to have to put them on.
Let's go.
And with that, we appreciate everyone and we out.
Peace out, guys.